CTV News with Stefanie Masotti.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. The murder of a Windsor woman in LaSalle is garnering attention across the globe. 45-year-old Nancy Gruel was killed in a quiet suburb on Tuesday evening. Let's bring in CTV's Robert Lothian with the latest on this. And Robert, what do we know about the victim thus far?
Yeah, Stephanie, the murder of Nancy Gruel has put the town of LaSalle at the center of global media attention. We know that Gruel was a PSW, but it's her work as a part-time social media influencer drawing attention from India and elsewhere abroad. What began as a frightening murder in a quiet LaSalle suburb is now making headlines on news outlets across the globe. 45-year-old Nancy Gruel, the victim in Tuesday's fatal stabbing, identified as a social media content creator, posting lifestyle videos and commentary on Canada-India politics.
We receive a number of inquiries from media asking about different narratives they've heard and different motives. And so we wanted to share that, especially with the citizens of LaSalle, that this is not a random act of violence.
LaSalle police responding to Todd Lane late Tuesday evening. They say Gruel was stabbed and died while being taken to the hospital. Rampant speculation is circulating online about a potential motive in Gruel's death. LaSalle Police Chief Michael Pierce says they'll investigate all leads.
We are considering all sources of information that we're receiving. And so without getting more specific than that, we certainly are considering any pieces of information that our investigators get.
The Service Employees International Union, representing more than 60,000 healthcare workers, identifying Gruel as a personal support worker. The SIEU confirming she was working alone Tuesday night when the stabbing happened, but couldn't say if she was working with a client, saying in part the tragedy highlights the urgent need for enforceable health and safety standards, better communication systems, and real investment in home care infrastructure to protect both workers and the people they care for. In LaSalle, the tragedy has created concerns among residents. Pierce says they have no reason to fear for their safety.
So initially we received a lot of concern from our citizens. You know, do we need to lock our doors? Is there someone, you know, out killing people in LaSalle? Certainly we had a homicide. We're not taking that lightly, but she was the subject of that act.
LaSalle police have yet to release the scene, saying the public will be notified when that happens. As Gruel lived in Windsor, Pierce says the Windsor Police Service will be helping with this investigation. Stephanie.
Okay, Robert Lothian with our top story tonight. Thank you, Robert. In other news, the town of Essex is reminding residents of its cemetery bylaw. In a social media post, the town said non-compliant personal items left at grave sites will be removed to ensure safety and maintain respectful resting spaces. Residents are permitted to leave flowers and large iron crosses at grave sites, but the bylaw does have restrictions. Rocks, watering pots, toys, and glassware, for example, are not permitted. Seasonal decorations like flowers, wreaths, and blankets must be removed within specified time frames to prevent decay and disruption to maintenance. Items not in compliance with cemetery bylaw will be securely stored for 30 days before being discarded if not collected. Windsor police are asking for the public's help to identify 8 suspects in theft incidents throughout the city. This photo is one of them. Police say all 8 suspects were seen leaving various retail locations in Windsor without paying for items. You can find all the photos on our website, ctvnewswindsor.ca. In other news, a project 4 years in the making is tonight officially part of Windsor's manufacturing base. Today, heavy hitters and dignitaries from across Windsor, Essex, Ontario, Canada, and overseas are in Windsor for the grand opening of the NextStar Energy plant. And CTV's Michelle Molesky was there.
1, 2, 3.
NextStar Energy is officially open for business. 1,300 people work here.
We found a workforce shaped by generation of manufacturing excellence, a community that understands the pride of building something real.
Company officials won't say how long it will be or what it will take to get to the 2,500 jobs promised by NextStar and the government.
We commend LG Energy and NextStar for their versatility in pivoting to maintain production in a changing marketplace and for your ongoing commitment to Canadian workers.
NextStar was initially supposed to be about building electric vehicle batteries. LG officials admit the interest in EVs just isn't there yet. And then the company faced uncertainty when Stellantis sold their stake in the company, according to Korean politicians.
At that important moment, LG Energy Solution made a clear choice. LG chose to stay in Ontario, Canada. LG chose to protect jobs. LG chose to honor its commitment. That decision deserves the recognition.
The factory carries with it substantial subsidies from the upper levels of government. And although neither on hand could say how much NextStar has received to date, they say the investment was a wise move.
There's a difference between politicians that look year by year on their budgets and politicians that look 50 years down the road and 100 years down the road. And with this project, we're looking 50 to 100 years down the road.
Industry Minister Mélanie Joly says when the deal was inked for NextStar, Canada was competing against the American Inflation Reduction Act to land investment. Joly says the Americans have now turned their back on that act.
It's up to them to take their own decisions. We thought that we needed to double down on these investments. We thought it was important to continue notwithstanding because the U.S. could take other decisions eventually. But we were on the right path, and we're convinced we're still on the right path.
There was a 50-50 partnership between the federal and provincial government for a portion of the $5+ billion building here. So, we would have been a percentage of that shared equally.
Michelle Molesky, CTV News.
And an LG official told us today that automotive batteries might have been the start of this project, but the company sees a great opportunity in energy storage systems. They say being able to store power when it's made before it's needed is a big business across North America. They also tell us that the factory is ready to pivot to automotive battery production when that industry starts to take off around the world. Also tonight, a much-needed school in Lakeshore is on the way. CTV's Bob Belichico shows us where the school will be located and how it will make a difference.
Perfect location for this school.
Lakeshore is growing rapidly, according to Mayor Tracy Bailey, and a new elementary school is being embraced.
Lakeshore continues to expand. It's the fastest growing municipality, so we know how much work it takes to arrive at a day like today, so everybody's been hard at work for a very long time.
A yet-to-be-named school is being built by the Greater Essex County District School Board on Rourke Line at Gerard Drive. It is projected that the new school will draw upwards of 600 new students and help alleviate some of the population pressures being felt by neighboring schools.
There's Bell River Public School and then Lakeshore Discovery. Both are over capacity.
In the heart of the community, the $22 million school will be built using isolated concrete forms for a faster and energy-efficient build. The project was slated to start in late January, but the frost from the colder-than-usual winter has caused the delay.
By the time we get going, probably about a month and a half. But again, the anticipation here of using the ICF, the speed of construction, so we're trying to get back the lost time.
As for the name of the school, a bill is going through the legislative process, meaning a name won't be picked until later this year.
Hopefully, like April, May-ish, we'll have a better idea.
The school is slated to open in September of 2027. Bob Belichico, CTV News.
As we get closer to the kickoff of the 2026 Winter Paralympic Games, we continue our series showing off some Paralympic hockey players from this side of London. Tonight, CTV's Travis Fortnum returns to introduce us to perhaps the biggest name in the sport these days.
He's on cereal boxes, in commercials, he's even on the side of a plane. But before all of that, Tyler McGregor was just a kid from Forest, Ontario, who lived walking distance from the rink.
I started playing hockey before my 3rd birthday, so I've spent pretty much my entire life playing.
In Forest, hockey wasn't just a sport, it was life. With the old community arena packed for playoffs.
When the home team played, it was packed and it was loud. And you know, when you're so young, like my dreams were just to represent my hometown team in a Silver Stick tournament and have the opportunity to play there.
At 15 years old, that dream nearly ended.
I fractured my tibia fibula in a hockey game, went through that recovery process and discovered I had spindle cell sarcoma, which is a form of soft tissue bone cancer.
He underwent chemotherapy with his leg amputated above the knee, but he held on to hope he could get back on the ice.
For me, I was looking for a new opportunity to continue to play hockey competitively. That came in the form of para-ice hockey. The first time that I saw it was in the hospital watching the Vancouver Paralympics.
14 years later, he's the captain of Team Canada, a 3-time Paralympic medalist, and on Friday, a flag bearer for his country. But when he enters a packed arena now, he still thinks about that old barn in Forest.
It's all relative to when I was 7 years old watching the 16-year-olds play. Like, there's nothing really like competing against the best in the world at what you do in front of a packed crowd.
McGregor converts that and buries it.
Today, McGregor lives in the Windsor area with his fiancée, but his hometown is never far.
The journey through life, but even, you know, to the Paralympic, it's certainly not just a solo endeavor. There's so many people that are involved in making it happen and making it special.
Travis Fortnum, CTV News.
Hats On for Healthcare was back for a day-long radiothon supporting Windsor Regional Hospital. The 4th annual event ran earlier today at Met Campus, broadcasted live on AM 800, CKLW, Virgin Radio, and 89X. The 12-hour event aimed to raise $100,000 for critical medical equipment and specialized programs. Donors can direct their support to more than 40 areas of care, including cardiology, oncology, and pediatrics. Organizers say the broader Hats On for Healthcare campaign has become a tradition that really truly highlights the generosity of our community.
We've got up to 40 different programs that we're supporting here at Windsor Regional Hospital Foundation. We've raised over $700,000, and it's gone to programs like cardiology and pediatrics and oncology, and it's honestly about, again, filling that gap where the community gets to really make that impact.
CTV meteorologist Gary Archibald has your full weather details coming up in 2 minutes' time. And still ahead, meet the man turning his private archive of vinyl records and record players into a public museum. Gary joining us now for a full look at your forecast.
Stefanie, we're talking about more rain as I speak. It's lighter than what we were facing this afternoon, say between 2 and 3 o'clock in particular. Some very heavy bands of showers move through southwestern Ontario. Along with that, relatively speaking, mild temperature, slightly above seasonal, but seasonal. Nothing extraordinary here statistically. We're looking at averages creeping up to 5 degrees Celsius by the weekend and close to 6 degrees by the end of next week. It's just steadily getting warmer, obviously. And this southerly and southwesterly flow that brought us all of this rain, this system of low pressure that's been sitting across southern Ontario, continues to march a lot of moisture into the region. Behind it is a bit of a clearing, and I showed you this just to give you an idea of what's up for Sunday into Monday. There's some good news ahead. For now, tonight, still cloudy, misty, drizzly. There's another round of showers, maybe 2 in the next, say, 18 to 24 hours. That means Friday's rainy, Saturday, especially in the morning, is quite rainy. And the rainfall spread in terms of, well, amounts isn't that impressive. Some areas will see 10 to about 15 millimeters. I think in the next 24 to 48 hours, we will see about 20. The ground is still quite cold, so there's not a lot of absorption. I've got a lot of puddles in my backyard, proof of that fact. So we got to watch out for, when things warm up next week, for some of that absorption to take. And this is when you'll find out if there's any deterioration to cinder block, for example, basements and crawl spaces. So watch out for those early leaks that can rear their ugly heads in March into April. 3 degrees through the overnight. That's pre-dawn. Early tomorrow morning, the low for your Friday, and it's still gray and rainy potentially. If we see it at all, it's light. That's the good news. Up to 5 degrees at 8 a.m. A light breeze out of the east or southeast throughout the day, sustained at around 10 to 15, 20 K. And then we'll see 13 degrees at around maybe 4:30. That's our high projected. So morning rain, cloudy through the midday afternoon, high 13, then goes up to 17. Look at this. Wow. Still rainy, though. That's your next big rain system. It's a wet Saturday. Cooling off a bit, but still above seasonal by about 6.5 degrees. Sunny on Sunday, 11, 18, and sunny, warmer still on Monday. That looks great. Tuesday, Wednesday, cooling off 13 and 10 and 11. That's how things are shaping up. Once again, our average for this time of the year is about 4. It will be going up next week, something to certainly celebrate.
A homeowner east of Toronto recently won a furnace upgrade, replacing an old unit that lasted for decades. As Pat Foran reports, his replacement should save him plenty on his monthly utilities, but it likely won't last nearly as long as his old one.
At this home in Bowmanville, the owner is getting a brand new furnace installed for free after winning a contest. Buttons Heating and Air Conditioning had the idea to find the oldest working furnace in Durham region.
We thought we'd try to find one lucky person with the oldest furnace out there to enjoy a new furnace.
There were plenty of entries. The fourth runner-up was a furnace 49 years old, third place 55 years old, and second place 60 years old. But the winner of the oldest working furnace was 69 years old. It took 4 people to get the hefty unit out of the house and into a van. Owner Doug Bothwell doesn't remember a time without it.
So this furnace has been here most of your life?
Maybe all my life, this furnace, yeah.
Bothwell says despite its age, it never gave his family any issues.
I don't recall us ever having any troubles whatsoever. Not one. Like, it just ran and ran.
The new Daikin furnace he received should save him hundreds of dollars a year on his utility bills.
This is going to be significantly more efficient than that old beast he had. They're going to save a ton in hydro and significantly in gas as well.
Most new furnaces are expected to last 15 to 20 years with proper maintenance, but they use more electronics and sensors, making them harder to repair. Button says older models had fewer moving parts and were less likely to break down.
I guess it's one of those things, they don't build them like they used to, right? And it was purring like a kitten when we came here. I was just in shock, just the way it was still working.
Even though it was still heating his home and running smoothly, Bothwell says when offered a modern furnace, he had no thoughts of keeping the old one.
Not really, but, you know, I can't complain about it all. You know, I can't. Like, let's just hope this one's half as good. That'll be great.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Officials with United Airlines say they're cracking down on disruptive passengers who refuse to use headphones. They say passengers must wear headphones or earbuds while listening to audio on board. If not, that could lead to removal from the plane. They do say anyone who does not have headphones can access free earbuds when available. Apple has announced a new laptop at its cheapest price ever. The MacBook Neo is the tech company's first to run on the A18 Pro chip, which is found in the iPhone 16 Pro models. Its starting price is about $800. It's roughly the same size as the MacBook Air. Apple officials say it's a response to the widespread adoption of Chromebooks and Windows laptops in schools. They also announced upgrades to the rest of their MacBook line. Canada's main stock index was down today as the price of oil rose. In Toronto, the TSX is down 333 points. In New York, the Dow lost 785, the Nasdaq dropped 59. The Canadian dollar fell 0.07 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold lost $56 an ounce and oil gained $6.35 a barrel. After saying the attack on Iran was not about regime change, Donald Trump has some new messaging for Iran. He must help pick the country's next leader. CTV's Washington Bureau Chief Joy Malbin on the personal involvement and new video of Operation Epic Fury.
In new defense video, U.S. airstrikes target and attack missile launchers inside Iran, hunting a vast military arsenal of drones and missiles and destroying their ability to attack. The president argues he had to hit now, or Iran would have developed a nuclear weapon.
When crazy people have nuclear weapons, bad things happen.
Though the president says his goal was not about regime change, he shockingly declared he must be personally involved in selecting Iran's next leader. And he's not keen on the assassinated leader's son. Khamenei's son is a lightweight, Trump said. I have to be involved in the appointment. We want someone that will bring harmony and peace to Iran. Trump wants a smooth transition, much like the swift capture of Venezuela's dictator Nicolas Maduro. But the Iran war is facing political backlash. Polls show a majority of voters disapprove of Trump's war.
The administration made mistakes in not preparing the American public for this. Not that they had to discuss anything about operational details, but I think requires months of explanation to justify this kind of activity.
And it's not just conflicting explanations. Democrats on Capitol Hill tried again to restrict the president's military actions in Iran, but it's unlikely to pass.
You send American men and women into war with a high likelihood of them dying based on Donald Trump's feeling? That's insanity.
And with no fixed end date in sight, so far this war has cost the U.S. an estimated $3.7 billion and claimed numerous lives. And this is just day 6. Joy Malbin, CTV News, Washington.
Meantime, Ottawa has issued advisories to avoid travel to the region and is pursuing options for Canadians struggling to leave. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver on what Ottawa has in mind to get Canadians home.
After a stressful few days stranded in the Middle East, a steady flow of travelers from Spain, the United Kingdom, and Germany are arriving back home courtesy of charter flights organized by their respective governments.
I've never had anything like it, never been so scared in my life.
The government says charters from the UAE are in the works and seats are being reserved on commercial flights from both the UAE and Lebanon. But so far, many Canadians, including Nirmal Beniwal, haven't heard anything.
Help us to get back home right now. It's very, very dangerous situation here.
Ottawa hopes charter flights for Canadians will leave the UAE in the next 72 hours and that Canadians may be able to get out on flights leaving Oman chartered by our allies.
At any given moment, we need to know the best option available to us.
Devin Ramutar has booked nearly a dozen commercial flights and all have been canceled at the last minute. He fears even a charter won't get him home.
All it takes is an airspace closure again, and what use is a charter flight if the airports were attacked here? So that's how fragile the situation is.
Given that fragility and the risk of missile attacks, one former military commander suggests Canada's best option may be military evacuations.
But you don't want to send a commercial jet in there and risk losing that commercial jet to combat fire. That's what Canadian forces are done, and now the question is, which option are they going to take?
The federal government says it is also working with countries including Israel and Qatar to bus Canadians to nearby countries where commercial flights are still available. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Discussion here at Windsor City Hall.
Windsor's top stories.
A major project is about to get underway.
Breaking news alerts.
Severe weather is a possibility.
And watch live.
Good evening and thank you for joining us.
Download the CTV News app.
Gary is back with his exclusive 7-day forecast.
One more look at the next 7 days, highs and lows, predominant conditions, probability of precipitation gives us an idea of the likelihood of at least an occurrence or more of active weather. And in terms of active weather, yes, we are wet right now, drizzly tomorrow, cloudy in the afternoon, going up to 13. Likely rainy on a mild Saturday, 17. Then sunny Sunday into Monday to start next week, 11 and 18 degrees. Some models suggesting Monday up to 20. Cooling off, but still mild and wet Tuesday, Wednesday. With next week, a week from now, down to 4 degrees. We could be below season. So if you like the warm-up, enjoy it. You'll just need the umbrella at times. We'll be cooling off before we get warm again. That's a look at your weather. Good night.
A Calgary collector has turned his private archive of vinyl records and record players into a public museum. CTV's Kevin Green got a first-hand look at the artifacts, which showcase a unique part of Canada's music history.
Ken Murphy started collecting records as a child after his father brought home a Beatles album.
Some say it's a life misspent. I prefer to think it's a life full of passion.
It sparked a lifelong obsession with collecting and archiving artifacts and recorded music, which Murphy has now turned into a public gallery.
About 15 years ago, I realized that I had reached a critical mass in my collection, and there were patterns in my collection that needed to be explored.
The Vinyl-Centric Gallery's first exhibit, called Phonosphere, covers the period from 1948, when vinyl LPs debuted, to 1978. The exhibit showcases historic Canadian-made record players and offers a glimpse into the culture of the time.
Most record players were purchased during this era were purchased in appliance and furniture stores, not stereo stores or audio stores. And Mum was in charge of that process because we were buying furniture and it had to fit into her decor.
The museum highlights the birth and growth of Canada's recorded music scene, which until the early 1960s was almost non-existent. The Vinyl-Centric Gallery and Archive is also digitizing Murphy's over 100,000 record collection of vinyl LPs.
I figure I'll be scanning for about 5 years, 5 days a week. I usually get in about 8 o'clock in the morning, I scan till 3 or 4.
A visit to the museum features a curated background soundtrack of Motown, funk, disco, and rap. Murphy says he plans to add listening booths in a future phase. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
That's your news for tonight. Thank you for joining us. See you right back here tomorrow night.